Layla was always different from the other children in her small town. While most kids were busy running around and playing games after school, she would sit quietly with a pencil in her hand and a sketchbook on her lap. She didn't care much for sports or the usual school activities. Her world was filled with colors, shapes, and endless possibilities that only she could see. Even at home, she would spend hours drawing the trees outside her window, the patterns of clouds, and sometimes the faces of people who passed by her street. Her parents noticed her talent early and encouraged her, but they also worried that the world might not be kind to someone who saw life so differently. School was always a challenge for Layla. She loved to learn, but she struggled to fit into the system. Teachers often praised the students who were good at math or reading, but her art and creative ideas were rarely recognized. The principal of her school, Mr. Thompson, was particularly harsh. He had a strict view of what was important in education and saw Layla's artistic pursuits as a waste of time. He often made comments in front of other students, saying things like, "Drawing won't get you anywhere," or "Focus on something that matters." Each time he said these words, Layla felt a mix of anger and sadness, but she refused to let them take away her love for art. Despite the principal's constant criticism, Layla's determination grew stronger. She believed that her drawings were not just lines on paper, but a way to express her thoughts and feelings when words were not enough. Sometimes she would draw in secret, hiding her sketches in her desk or under her bed to protect them from people who might not understand. Her parents were her quiet supporters. They never tried to push her to follow a conventional path, and they encouraged her to keep pursuing what made her happy. At home, Layla could be herself, and her art became a safe space where her imagination could flourish. Her classmates, influenced by the principal's words, often teased her. They didn't understand why she would spend so much time drawing instead of playing games or joining other activities. Some would snicker and call her a dreamer or tell her that her work was childish. At first, these comments hurt Layla deeply. She would sometimes wonder if they were right, if maybe her passion was silly or unimportant, but deep down she knew that her drawings were special. Every line she made, every color she chose, carried a part of her soul. Slowly, she learned to ignore the whispers of doubt from others and focus on what she loved most. One day, while sitting in class, Layla's mind wandered to a story she wanted to tell through her art. She imagined a world where people could see the beauty in ordinary things, where kindness and creativity were celebrated above rules and standards. She sketched quickly on a scrap of paper, trying to capture the idea before the teacher noticed. The pencil moved almost on its own, guided by her excitement and passion. The drawing was rough, but it captured the essence of her imagination perfectly. When Mr. Thompson walked by, he noticed the paper and frowned. "What is this?" he asked sharply. "This isn't the kind of work we focus on in this school. You should concentrate on your lessons." He crumpled the paper and handed it back, not realizing the spark of determination he was igniting in Layla. Instead of feeling defeated, she felt a quiet fire burning inside her. She promised herself that one day, her art would be seen and appreciated no matter what anyone said. After school, Layla would return to her small room, a place filled with her drawings, paints, and brushes. She would spend hours there, sometimes losing track of time as she painted stories from her imagination. Each picture she created was a reflection of her thoughts, her dreams, and her emotions. She began experimenting with different styles, trying to find the best way to express herself. Sometimes her parents would peek in, silently admiring her dedication, while other times they would leave her alone, knowing that this was her time to grow. One afternoon, as Layla was sketching a portrait of a woman she had seen at the market, her younger brother wandered into the room. He watched her work silently for a few minutes before asking, "Why do you spend so much time drawing? You could be playing with us outside." Layla smiled gently and explained, "This is how I tell stories. Words aren't enough for me. When I draw, I can show people what I feel and what I imagine." Her brother nodded slowly, still not fully understanding, but he respected her passion. Layla realized that not everyone would understand her, and that was okay. What mattered was that she kept creating. At school, things didn't improve immediately. Mr. Thompson continued to dismiss her skills, and other students sometimes mocked her behind her back. But Layla found small victories that kept her going. A kind teacher in the art class once praised a sketch she had done, saying it had emotion and depth. That brief recognition made a huge difference. Layla realized that she didn't need everyone's approval, just the support of those who truly understood her work. She began to focus less on the negative comments and more on the joy that creating art brought her. Layla also started noticing that her talent could have an impact beyond her own satisfaction. She began sharing her drawings with neighbors, friends, and family members. People would often stop to look at her work, sometimes smiling or commenting on the details. Seeing their reactions gave her a sense of purpose. She realized that her art could communicate in ways words sometimes could not, touching hearts and inspiring thoughts. This understanding deepened her love for her craft and motivated her to continue improving. One day, the school announced a local community art competition. The news spread quickly, and students whispered about who would enter. Layla's heart raced. This could be her chance to show the world, or at least her town, what she could do. But fear crept in as well. What if Mr. Thompson mocked her in front of everyone? What if she failed and everyone laughed? She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety, but deep inside she knew she had to try. She couldn't let the fear of ridicule stop her from pursuing something that defined who she was. She started preparing for the competition in secret. Every evening she would sit at her desk, sketching ideas, mixing paints, and imagining the story she wanted to tell. Her parents watched quietly, offering encouragement and practical advice. "Take your time," her mother would say. "Tell the story the way you see it." Her father added, "Don't worry about what others think. Just be true to yourself." Their words strengthened her resolve. Layla worked tirelessly, knowing that this was more than just a contest. It was a chance to show that her talent mattered. As the days passed, Layla grew more confident in her work. She experimented with colors, textures, and patterns, creating a piece that was vibrant, emotional, and entirely her own. She poured her heart into every brushstroke, thinking about the story she wanted to tell and the message she hoped people would understand. By the time the submission day arrived, her piece was complete. She looked at it one last time, feeling proud of what she had accomplished. For the first time, she felt that maybe, just maybe, she could rise above the doubts and criticism that had followed her for so long. When she brought her work to the competition, Layla felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. She watched as judges examined each piece carefully, noting the details and the effort behind every creation. Students and parents wandered around, looking at the artwork, commenting on the colors, the ideas, and the creativity. Layla tried to stay calm, reminding herself that this was her moment to shine. The memory of Mr. Thompson's mocking words lingered in the back of her mind, but she refused to let them define her. She had worked too hard and cared too much about her art to let anyone's negativity overshadow her accomplishment. While waiting for the results, Layla thought about all the times she had been dismissed, all the moments she had felt small or overlooked. She realized that each of those experiences had shaped her, teaching her resilience and determination. Without the mockery and doubt, she might not have worked so hard, or appreciated the power of her own voice through art. She understood that challenges were part of the journey, and that every obstacle could be transformed into motivation. The announcement of winners brought a wave of excitement and tension. When Layla's name was called, she could hardly believe it. She had won. Her artwork had stood out among hundreds of submissions, capturing the attention and admiration of judges and visitors alike. The feeling of pride and validation was overwhelming. People came to look at her piece, complimenting her skill and the emotions it conveyed. For the first time, Layla felt seen and appreciated, not just as a student who could follow instructions, but as a young artist with a unique voice. Even Mr. Thompson couldn't hide his surprise. He approached Layla, trying to hide his embarrassment, and said, "Well, it seems your work has merit after all." Layla smiled politely, choosing not to respond with anger or sarcasm. She knew that her victory wasn't about proving him wrong. It was about proving to herself that her talent had value, and that perseverance could overcome criticism. That day marked a turning point in Layla's life. She realized that her creativity was not a weakness, but a strength. She understood that while not everyone might appreciate her art, there would always be people who did, and that was enough to keep her going. The journey ahead would not be easy, but she was ready to face challenges, continue learning, and explore the endless possibilities that her imagination offered. From that moment on, Layla felt a sense of empowerment she had never experienced before. She knew that the road ahead would be full of ups and downs, But she also knew that her passion and determination could guide her through. Her story was just beginning, and she was ready to embrace every twist and turn with courage, creativity, and an unwavering belief in herself. After winning the local art competition, Layla felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. People were starting to notice her talent, and for the first time she felt a sense of belonging in the world of creativity. Her parents were proud, but they also reminded her that this was just the beginning. Layla understood this well. She knew that recognition brought new challenges, but she was ready to face them with courage and determination. A few days after the competition, the community center hosted an exhibition where the winning artworks were displayed. Layla's piece was placed in a central position, and it drew attention from everyone who walked in. Children and adults alike stopped to admire the intricate details and the emotion behind her work. Some asked questions about her inspiration, and she eagerly explained the story behind her painting. Each interaction strengthened her confidence and made her realize that her art had the power to connect with people in a unique way. Meanwhile, news of her win reached her school. Some classmates who had previously mocked her now approached her with curious and somewhat apologetic expressions. Layla noticed their change in attitude but didn't let it distract her. She understood that their opinions didn't define her. Even Mr. Thompson, her principal, seemed different. He no longer dismissed her work outright but observed her with a mixture of surprise and caution. Layla sensed that he was slowly realizing that he might have underestimated her abilities. As the weeks passed, Layla began receiving invitations to participate in other local events. Art clubs, small galleries, and even citywide competitions reached out to her. Each opportunity was exciting but also intimidating. She often stayed up late, practicing new techniques and refining her style. Her parents supported her by helping her organize her time and encouraging her to focus on quality rather than speed. They reminded her that true art required patience and dedication, and that recognition would come naturally if she remained committed to her craft. Despite her growing success, Layla still faced moments of self-doubt. Sometimes she would wonder if she was truly talented, or if her previous win had been a fluke. She would think about the times when she was mocked and criticized, and the fear of failure would creep back in. But she learned to use these feelings as motivation. Instead of allowing them to hold her back, she turned them into energy that fueled her creativity. She reminded herself that every artist faced challenges and that perseverance was key to growth. One afternoon, a local art teacher named Mrs. Rivera visited Layla's home to offer guidance and mentorship. Mrs. Rivera was impressed by Layla's work and offered advice on techniques, color theory, and composition. Layla listened intently, absorbing every word. The guidance helped her see her art from a new perspective and inspired her to experiment with bolder ideas. Mrs. Rivera also encouraged Layla to enter a larger regional competition that could open doors to even greater opportunities. Layla felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The idea of competing on a bigger stage was both thrilling and intimidating. Preparing for the regional competition became Layla's main focus. She decided to create a painting that told a story about hope and resilience, reflecting her own journey. She wanted her work to inspire others who had faced doubt or criticism. Every day after school, she would retreat to her room, sketching ideas and trying different techniques. She experimented with light and shadow, blending colors to create depth and emotion. Her parents watched her dedication with pride, knowing that their support had helped her reach this point. As the submission deadline approached, Layla felt the pressure mounting. She worried about making mistakes or not meeting the expectations of the judges. She spent long hours perfecting every detail, erasing and repainting sections until they matched her vision. Her determination and patience began to pay off. The painting evolved into a masterpiece, capturing not only her technical skill but also the emotion and story she wanted to share. On the day of the regional competition, Layla traveled to the city with her parents. The event was much larger than any she had attended before, with dozens of talented artists from different towns. As she entered the exhibition hall, she felt a wave of nervousness and excitement. The room was filled with vibrant colors and creative energy. She carefully set up her painting in the designated space, hoping that her work would resonate with the judges and visitors. Throughout the day, people admired her piece, asking questions and complimenting her skill. Layla felt proud but also humble. knowing that every artist in the room had put their heart into their work. She observed the reactions of the audience, noting how they connected with her story. This experience reinforced her belief that art was a powerful form of communication, capable of touching hearts and inspiring emotions. When the judges announced the winners, Layla's heart raced. Her name was called as the first-place winner in her category. The recognition was overwhelming. She felt a mix of joy, relief, and validation. The years of effort, the mockery, the doubts, and everything had led to this moment. Layla realized that her talent and perseverance had transformed her life. People who had once doubted her now saw her in a new light. Even Mr. Thompson's words of criticism seemed distant, replaced by a sense of pride and accomplishment. After the competition, Layla's life began to change. She received invitations to showcase her work in galleries, attend art workshops, and participate in community projects. Her story began to inspire other young artists who had faced similar challenges. Layla became a symbol of resilience and determination, showing that talent and hard work could overcome skepticism and negativity. Despite the growing recognition, Layla remained grounded. She continued to create art not for fame or praise, but for the joy and fulfillment it brought her. She understood that true success was not measured by awards or approval, but by the ability to express oneself authentically and inspire others along the way. Her journey was far from over, but she embraced each new challenge with confidence, passion, and an unwavering belief in her abilities. The experience taught Layla valuable lessons about resilience, determination, and the power of self-belief. She learned that mockery and criticism could be transformed into motivation, pushing her to reach new heights. She also realized the importance of staying true to herself, even when others doubted her. Each step of her journey reinforced the idea that talent, when nurtured with dedication and courage, could change not only her own life but also the lives of those who witnessed her growth. As Layla continued her journey, she remained committed to her art and her message. She wanted to encourage others to pursue their passions, no matter the obstacles they faced. Her story became a beacon of hope for young artists and dreamers, showing that with perseverance, creativity, and self-belief, it was possible to overcome challenges and achieve greatness. Layla's journey was a testament to the transformative power of talent, hard work, and resilience, and it marked the beginning of a remarkable chapter in her life. After her win at the regional competition, Layla's life began to feel very different. People who had once ignored her now noticed her talent, and she started to receive recognition beyond her small town. Invitations to local galleries, exhibitions, and workshops began to pour in. Each opportunity was exciting, but it also brought a sense of responsibility. Layla knew that she needed to work even harder to continue improving and make the most of every chance she was given. With each new project, Layla discovered more about her artistic style and the stories she wanted to tell. She experimented with colors, textures, and new techniques that challenged her previous skills. Every painting became a journey, and every sketch was a step toward expressing her inner thoughts and emotions. Her room at home became a studio filled with canvases, paint, and inspiration boards. It was a space where ideas could grow freely without limits or judgment. Her parents remained her biggest supporters, quietly encouraging her while giving her space to explore her creativity. They noticed how much more confident she had become and how her passion for art was shaping her character. Layla's younger brother watched her with admiration, often asking questions about the different techniques she used. Her parents encouraged him to be curious and supportive, teaching him that appreciating someone else's talent was just as important as developing your own. Despite her growing recognition, Layla continued to face challenges. Some classmates still whispered and criticized her behind her back, unable to accept that she had succeeded where they had doubted her. Even the principal, Mr. Thompson, seemed unsure of how to approach her. He no longer mocked her directly, but there was a distant, awkward tension whenever he interacted with her. Layla decided not to focus on their opinions. She understood that her journey was her own, and that the support of those who truly mattered, like her parents and mentors, was more important than trying to win over skeptics. One day, an art club from a nearby city invited Layla to participate in a collaborative mural project. The project involved a large wall in a public park, and several young artists would work together to create a piece that reflected community values. Layla felt nervous about working with others at first. She had spent so much time creating art independently that the idea of collaboration was intimidating. However, She realized this was an opportunity to learn new techniques and to see how other artists approach their work. During the project, Layla discovered the importance of teamwork and communication. Each artist brought their own unique perspective and style, and Layla had to find a way to blend her vision with theirs. There were moments of disagreement and frustration, but Layla learned to listen, compromise, and find solutions that honored everyone's creativity. By the end of the project, the mural was complete, vibrant, and full of life. The experience taught her that art was not only about individual expression, but also about connecting with others and creating something meaningful together. Around the same time, a local newspaper featured Layla's story. They highlighted her journey from being underestimated and mocked to becoming a recognized young artist. The article included images of her work and interviews with her parents and mentors. The response was overwhelming. People from different towns reached out to congratulate her, and many young artists said that her story inspired them to pursue their own passions despite challenges. Layla felt proud but also humbled. She realized that her journey could help others, and that her art had the power to make a difference beyond herself. Layla's confidence continued to grow, but she remained grounded. She still faced moments of self-doubt, especially when starting new projects or trying unfamiliar techniques. Sometimes she would feel that her work wasn't good enough, or that she might disappoint those who believed in her, but she learned to see these feelings as part of the creative process. They reminded her to push herself, to try harder, and to focus on improvement rather than perfection. Each challenge became a lesson, shaping her not only as an artist but also as a person. As she gained recognition, Layla also began to understand the responsibility that came with it. She wanted to use her art to inspire and support others, especially young people who faced similar struggles. She began volunteering at local schools, giving small workshops and encouraging students to explore their creativity. Many children had talents that went unnoticed or were dismissed, and Layla's encouragement helped them gain confidence. She shared her story openly, emphasizing that persistence, patience, and belief in oneself were key to overcoming obstacles. Meanwhile, Layla continued to develop her artistic skills. She experimented with mixed media, combining paints, pencils, and other materials to create pieces that were dynamic and expressive. She studied the works of famous artists, not to copy them, but to understand techniques and perspectives that could enhance her own style. Every new experiment was a step forward, helping her refine her voice and push the boundaries of what she could create. Despite her busy schedule, Layla made time for quiet reflection. She often sat by her window in the evenings, sketching ideas or simply observing the world outside. She noticed the play of light on leaves, the movement of clouds across the sky, and the expressions of people passing by. These small observations often sparked new ideas for her art, reminding her that inspiration could be found in everyday moments. She realized that being attentive to the world around her not only improved her skills but also deepened her connection to her own emotions and thoughts. During this period, Layla also faced moments of criticism from more experienced artists. Some commented on her technique or suggested that her style was too unconventional. At first, these words stung, and she questioned whether she was progressing in the right direction. However, she chose to see criticism as an opportunity to grow. She listened carefully, reflected on the feedback, and applied the lessons to improve her work while still maintaining her unique style. This approach allowed her to evolve as an artist without losing the essence of her creativity. The principal, Mr. Thompson, gradually began to change his attitude. He still maintained his strict demeanor, but he no longer dismissed her work outright. On occasion, he would even ask questions about her projects, though it was clear he was still adjusting to seeing her succeed. Layla didn't seek validation from him, but she recognized that people's perceptions could change when faced with undeniable talent. This reinforced her belief that persistence and excellence often speak louder than words. As months passed, Layla's influence in her community grew. She became a source of inspiration not only for young artists but also for adults who had once doubted the power of creativity. Her story was shared in schools, community events, and local publications, demonstrating that talent and dedication could overcome skepticism and negativity. Layla felt proud of her achievements but remained humble, always emphasizing the importance of effort, learning, and passion. Layla's journey taught her valuable lessons about resilience, humility, and the transformative power of art. She learned that challenges and criticism were not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities to grow stronger and more skilled. She realized that success was not measured solely by awards or recognition, but by the ability to inspire, connect, and express oneself authentically. Each step of her journey reinforced the idea that talent, when nurtured with dedication and courage, could change not only her own life but also the lives of those who witnessed her growth. By the end of this period, Layla had evolved into a confident, skilled, and compassionate young artist. She understood that her journey was ongoing and that there were still many challenges ahead. Yet she faced each new opportunity with courage, curiosity, and determination. Her story was no longer just about overcoming mockery or doubt. It was about embracing her potential, using her art to inspire others, and continuing to grow as both an artist and a person. Layla's journey was a testament to the power of perseverance, self-belief, and the unwavering pursuit of one's passions. As Layla's reputation as a talented young artist continued to grow, bigger opportunities began to present themselves. One day she received an invitation to participate in a national art festival. The festival was one of the largest in the country, drawing artists from different regions and backgrounds. The idea of competing on such a grand stage both excited and terrified Layla. She knew that the level of competition would be much higher, and the expectations would be intense. But deep inside, she also felt ready to challenge herself and see how far her skills could take her. Preparing for the national festival became Layla's main focus. She wanted to create something that would not only showcase her technical ability, but also convey a meaningful story. She spent days sketching ideas, experimenting with new techniques, and thinking about the emotions she wanted to evoke in her audience. Every brushstroke was deliberate, every color carefully chosen. Her goal was to create a piece that would resonate with people and reflect her journey of resilience, creativity, and determination. While working on her piece, Layla faced numerous challenges. Some techniques didn't work as she had hoped, and she would have to start over or make significant changes. There were days when she felt frustrated and questioned whether she was ready for such a high-level competition. However, she refused to give up. She reminded herself that every artist faced obstacles and that perseverance was essential for growth. With patience and determination, she continued refining her work, learning from each mistake and using it to improve her craft. Her parents continued to support her, offering encouragement and practical help. They helped her organize her time, ensuring that she could balance her school responsibilities with her intensive art preparation. They also reminded her to take care of herself, to rest when needed, and to maintain perspective. Their guidance gave Layla a sense of stability, allowing her to focus on her creative process without becoming overwhelmed. In addition to technical challenges, Layla also had to manage her emotions. The pressure of competing at a national level brought moments of anxiety and self-doubt. She worried about whether her work would be accepted, whether it would stand out among hundreds of talented artists, and whether she could meet the expectations of judges and viewers. During these moments, she often returned to her sketchbook, drawing simple images or revisiting old ideas to remind herself of why she loved art. These small moments of reflection helped her regain confidence and stay focused on her goals. As the day of the festival approached, Layla carefully prepared her artwork for transport. She wanted to ensure that every detail remained intact and that her piece would be presented in the best possible way. Traveling to the festival with her parents, she observed the other artists' works being displayed and felt both awe and motivation. Each piece was unique and impressive, and Layla realized that this was not just a competition, but also an opportunity to learn from others and grow as an artist. During the festival, visitors and judges were drawn to Layla's artwork. Her piece conveyed a story of hope, resilience, and self-expression that resonated deeply with many people. Some stopped to ask questions about her inspiration, while others simply admired the details and the emotion captured in the work. Layla felt proud but remained humble, focusing on connecting with the audience and sharing her message rather than seeking validation. Throughout the festival, Layla interacted with other artists, exchanging ideas and learning new techniques. She observed how different artists approached their work, how they solved creative challenges, and how they conveyed emotions through their art. These interactions were inspiring and educational, giving her new perspectives and sparking ideas for future projects. Layla realized that art was not only about individual expression, but also about learning, sharing, and connecting with a broader community. When the judges announced the winners, Layla felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Her name was called as the winner in her category, and she was awarded a scholarship to a prestigious art school. The recognition was overwhelming, but more importantly, it validated the years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance she had invested in her passion. Layla felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing that her journey had transformed her life and opened doors to new opportunities. The scholarship to the art school was a turning point for Layla. It meant access to professional guidance, advanced techniques, and a community of talented peers. She embraced the opportunity with determination. Eager to learn and grow, the experience expanded her horizons, allowing her to explore new styles, experiment with different mediums, and challenge her creative limits. Layla's journey was no longer just about proving herself. It was about discovering the full potential of her talent and using it to inspire and influence others. Despite her success, Layla remained grounded. She continued to create art for the joy it brought her and for the stories she wanted to tell. She stayed connected to her roots, visiting her old school, mentoring students, and sharing her experiences. Layla wanted to encourage young artists who had faced doubt or criticism, showing them that perseverance and self-belief could overcome obstacles. Her story became a source of inspiration for many, demonstrating that talent, hard work, and resilience could change lives. The journey also taught Layla valuable life lessons. She learned that success was not simply about winning awards or recognition, but about the dedication, effort, and authenticity behind every creation. She understood that challenges and setbacks were part of growth, and that every mistake or criticism was an opportunity to improve. Most importantly, she realized that her passion for art was a powerful tool for communication, connection, and personal expression. As Layla continued her artistic journey, she became more confident in her abilities and more aware of her impact on others. She learned to balance ambition with humility, creativity with discipline, and personal growth with community engagement. Her story illustrated the transformative power of talent, determination, and self-belief. Each step of her journey reinforced the importance of staying true to oneself and pursuing passions with courage and commitment. Layla's experience at the National Art Festival was just one chapter in her ongoing journey. She continued to participate in exhibitions, workshops, and community projects, constantly refining her skills and exploring new ideas. Her story inspired other young artists to persevere through challenges, embrace their creativity, and believe in their potential. Layla's journey demonstrated that talent, when nurtured with dedication and courage, could lead to personal fulfillment, recognition, and the ability to inspire others. By the end of this chapter in her life, Layla had grown not only as an artist but also as a person. She had learned the value of resilience, patience, and self-belief. She had discovered that true success was measured not only by achievements, but also by the ability to grow, inspire, and remain authentic. Her journey was far from over, but Layla faced each new opportunity with confidence, passion, and a deep commitment to her craft. Her story was a testament to the power of perseverance, creativity, and the unwavering pursuit of one's dreams, and it marked a new beginning in her remarkable journey. After achieving success at the National Art Festival and earning a scholarship to a prestigious art school, Layla's life transformed in ways she had never imagined. She found herself surrounded by talented peers, experienced teachers, and endless opportunities to learn and grow. Each day at the school was filled with challenges and discoveries, pushing her to experiment with new techniques, explore different styles, and expand the limits of her creativity. Layla felt inspired and energized, knowing that she was in a place where her talent was not only recognized but nurtured. The art school introduced Layla to a wider world of possibilities. She learned about various artistic movements, the works of renowned artists, and innovative techniques that she had never encountered before. Each lesson deepened her understanding of art, helping her refine her own style and find her unique voice. Layla embraced every opportunity to learn, whether it was in the classroom, during workshops, or in discussions with fellow students. She realized that the journey of an artist was never-ending, and every day offered new lessons and challenges. Despite the excitement of her new environment, Layla remained connected to her roots. She often thought about her small town, her supportive parents, and the times when she had been mocked and underestimated. These memories reminded her of the journey she had traveled and the obstacles she had overcome. They also gave her a sense of humility and gratitude, inspiring her to help others who faced similar struggles. Layla understood that her success was not only about personal achievement, but also about the responsibility to inspire and encourage others. Layla began volunteering at local schools and community centers, teaching young students about art and creativity. She shared her story openly, explaining how she had faced criticism and doubt but had persevered through dedication and passion. Many children were inspired by her journey, realizing that their own talents were valuable and worth nurturing. Layla encouraged them to pursue their interests, experiment without fear, and believe in themselves. She became a mentor and role model, showing that talent, combined with hard work and resilience, could overcome obstacles and lead to meaningful accomplishments. As Layla continued to develop her skills, she also learned to balance ambition with patience. She faced new challenges at the art school, including projects that pushed her out of her comfort zone and critiques that required careful reflection. At first, some of the feedback was difficult to hear, and she questioned whether she was meeting expectations. But Layla had learned from past experiences that criticism was an opportunity to grow. She listened attentively, considered the suggestions, and applied them thoughtfully to her work. Each critique helped her improve not only technically but also in her ability to express her ideas and emotions effectively. Layla's confidence grew as she took on more ambitious projects. She experimented with mixed media, large-scale installations, and collaborative works with other students. Each project challenged her to think creatively, problem-solve, and communicate her vision clearly. She discovered that collaboration could enhance her work, providing new perspectives and ideas that she might not have considered on her own. Through these experiences, Layla became more versatile, resilient, and adaptable as an artist. The recognition Layla received from her art school and the wider community opened doors to exhibitions, workshops, and speaking engagements. She was invited to showcase her work in galleries and participate in art festivals across the country. Each opportunity was a chance to share her story and inspire others, reinforcing the idea that talent, when nurtured and pursued with dedication, could make a lasting impact. Layla embraced these experiences, always focusing on the message behind her work and the connection it created with viewers. Despite her busy schedule, Layla made time for reflection and personal growth. She often revisited her early sketches and paintings, remembering the days when her talent had been dismissed and mocked. These reflections reminded her of the strength and determination that had carried her this far. She realized that her journey had been shaped not only by her successes, but also by the challenges she had faced and the perseverance she had shown. These lessons became guiding principles, influencing not only her art but also her approach to life. As Layla matured, she also began exploring ways to give back to her community and support young artists. She organized workshops, mentoring programs, and collaborative projects that provided guidance and inspiration to students who might otherwise have felt overlooked or discouraged. Her efforts helped create a supportive environment where creativity could flourish, demonstrating that success was not only about personal achievement, but also about fostering growth and opportunity for others. Throughout her journey, Layla remained grounded and humble. She continued to create art for the joy and fulfillment it brought her, rather than solely for recognition or awards. She understood that true success was measured not just by accolades, but by the ability to express oneself authentically, inspire others, and make a positive impact. Her story became a testament to the power of perseverance, self-belief, and the transformative influence of art. As the years passed, Layla's work continued to evolve, reflecting her growth, experiences, and unique perspective. Her art became more sophisticated, expressive, and impactful, touching the lives of many who encountered it. She remained committed to learning, experimenting, and exploring new ideas, understanding that the journey of an artist was continuous and never truly complete. Each new project was an opportunity to challenge herself, convey meaningful stories, and connect with audiences on a deeper level. Layla's journey from being mocked and underestimated to becoming a recognized and influential artist illustrated the transformative power of determination, talent, and resilience. She had faced doubt, criticism, and setbacks, yet she persevered, remaining true to herself and her passion. Her story inspired countless others, demonstrating that obstacles could be overcome with dedication, courage, and self-belief. Layla had become more than just an accomplished artist. She was a symbol of hope, creativity, and the importance of pursuing one's dreams despite challenges. By the time Layla completed her formal education at the art school, she had not only honed her technical skills, but also developed a deep understanding of the role of art in society. She saw that creativity could inspire, challenge, and transform lives. Her journey had taught her the value of patience, resilience, humility, and the importance of supporting and uplifting others. Layla's story was a reminder that talent, when combined with hard work and a strong sense of purpose, could achieve extraordinary outcomes. Layla continued to pursue her passion, embracing new projects, collaborations, and opportunities to share her work and story. She remained committed to inspiring young artists, mentoring students, and contributing positively to her community. Her journey, which had begun with doubt, mockery, and challenges, had transformed into a path of growth, success, and influence. Layla's life became a testament to the enduring power of creativity, determination, and the belief that talent, when nurtured with dedication and courage, could change not only her own life but also the lives of many others around her. Through every challenge and triumph, Layla never forgot the lessons she had learned. She remembered the moments when her talent had been dismissed, the days of self-doubt, and the encouragement of her supportive parents. These experiences shaped her into the artist and person she had become. Her story showed that even in the face of adversity, it was possible to rise, achieve greatness, and inspire others along the way. Layla's journey was a celebration of perseverance, creativity, and the unyielding pursuit of one's dreams, leaving a lasting impact on everyone who encountered her art and story.